Hello guys, how are you? We are going to start our next costing technique, target costing. At first, we have done ABC activity-based costing. That was the concept of overheads. Like the base we were using were not appropriate using absorption costing. So ABC said that use the appropriate base, calculate proper overhead, and all that game we have done. But in the case of target costing, obviously target costing is something like different concept as we have studied uh, in the ABC, it was different. What is target costing? Normally, let us first understand the basic story, the previous story due to which target costing arises. So normally, what we do normally in our scenario, in our business, what we do, we always see that what is our cost. We always see what is our cost, normal cost, and just what we do is add the profit to the cost and reach the selling price. Normally, it's a concept throughout the world. It's a business concept that add the profit in the cost and reach the selling price. Okay. So for example, just for the example, I'm telling you that for example, we are having the cost per unit. We are having the cost per unit of 100. We are having the cost per unit of 100 and profit. We decided that $20 we will earn and selling price we have decided $120. This is the basic concept of business. Basic concept of business. But in now era, now what is the issue? The market is so much competitive that you can't decide your selling price yourself. For example, I am going to make the calculators. I'm going to make the factory of calculators, and now I decided that I will make the calculators and sell. I calculated complete normal cost. It comes $100 plus $20 profit. I said that we decided that we'll sell it for $120. But maybe same quality calculator is being sold in market for $90. Obviously no customer will pay me $120 for the same calculator of $90. So it's the main issue that now in this era, in this competitive environment, competition, great competition, we can't decide our selling price ourselves. So what we have to do, we have to just reverse the approach. How? See, but due to great competition in the market, there is a need to control selling price, obviously. So what we have to do, we have to rearrange this formula, and now we will think reverse. Like if we take this profit on other side, the formula will be selling price minus profit is equal to cost. Selling price minus profit is equal to cost. Now, what target costing says? Target costing says that what you should do is to identify the selling price first that is being used in the market. So here we have to see that what market is offering the selling price for the product first. We'll not do like the cost plus profit is equal to selling price. This is not, we are not having the monopoly that only we are making that. So customer will be having the obviously price difference is very much important for the customer. So if he's getting the same quality thing in $30 less amount, why he will pay for the 120 for the calculator? So market first see the market selling price, and then minus deduct the desired profit you want to earn. For example, you want to earn 20 per calculator, so desired profit, just deduct that. You will get a cost. So now you have the cost in which you have to manage. For example, already have calculated 120 selling price, but in market the same thing is being sold at $90. So you can't sell it for more than 90, minus just desired profit was 20. Still we have to earn $20. Our desired profit is 20. Now we get the cost that is $70. It means that we must have the target to to complete the product. We must incur the cost that is $70. It must be the target for you. It must be the target for you to complete your production and all cost within the $70. If you are like increasing the cost from 70, then you will be getting the selling price more And if more selling price, obviously no customer will come to you due to great competition. So that's why you have to think reversely. Like first you were doing cost plus profit is equal to selling price, but now this is not the game. The game is market selling price. First see selling price minus desired profit and then calculate the cost. This cost is your target cost that you have to achieve. Means you have to do your complete production, non-production, complete cost within this target cost. If you are obviously achieving this target, you can obviously earn the desired profit as well, and you can sell at the market rate. Obviously the market is offering $90, you can sell it easily. But in case you are not able to manage that, then it's the issue for you, because no one will take you the calculator from you in 120 or more than 90 amount. So there are like maybe you have to lower down your desired profit. So that's not the case. You will have a desired, just did a complete desired profit you want to earn, and just try to reach the targeted cost. So target costing says that think reverse. Market selling price minus desired profit is equal to target cost. So by this approach, we know that by this approach, we know that by this approach, we know that wait. Okay, by this approach, we know that how much cost to incur to reach targeted selling price. Because if we are now focusing on this target cost, now we are focusing on this target cost, this target cost will help you to calculate to reach to the required market selling price. So this target cost will help you to reach the required market selling price, and you can easily sell the product according to the market price. The issue will be resolved. But main issue is what is the main issue? To come from this normal cost to target cost. You were incurring $100. Now you have to make the same thing in $70. And there is one point as well. Target costing says that you have to take this 100 to 70 to reach the target. Means you have to go down $30. But you can't compromise the quality. This is the big issue. Because obviously, if I want to cut down my cost, I can easily cut it down. How? By reducing the quality. But target costing says don't compromise quality. If you will compromise quality, obviously you will not be on the standards of the market. Maybe market is giving the good quality in $70 in $90, and their cost is 70 obviously. But now you are coming down by using the lower quality. That is not the logical and or sensible reason. That's not the sensible step. So what you have to do is to try to lower down your cost, but not don't compromise the quality. Okay, let us go to the down to the next point. That normal cost, as we have calculated, was 100 versus what's our target? Our target is $70. So this difference, the difference between both of them is known as cost gap. Cost gap. You have to remove this cost gap. You have to remove this cost gap as soon as possible. Because as soon as you remove this gap, obviously you can sell on the standard selling price of the market, and customer will take the product, buy the product easily from you. But in case if you are not going to manage that, you are not removing the cost gap, so it will be having the impact on your profits as well. Or maybe if you are selling more, selling on the more selling price, like more selling price than the market, no one will take buy from you. So closing this gap, basically we have to close this gap. I've told you we have to close this gap. So focus on cost cutting which will not compromise the quality of the product. I have told you upward I've told you that don't compromise quality. You have to do the cost cutting, but how? Your quality must not be getting down. If the quality is getting down, then there is no benefit of using the target cost, because quality down, again, no customer will take for first time they will take the product, but they will not be retained, they will not come again, they will not be loyal with you. Obviously, you are not giving the best quality to them. So what are the how the reasons? How can we, if we are not compromising the quality, if we are not compromising the quality, but still wants to cut the cost, then how it will be done? So first point, there are some points I have told here. I've written here that uh you can compromise, you can cut the cost, like packing. Some businesses, what they do, they use the expensive packing, box in the box in the box and all that, and but that's that basically not the good approach by the business, because if they're using the heavy packing, the expensive packing, that's not adding the value, that's not adding the value to the customer. If I am getting this calculator in one box, or two box, or three box, it will provide me value. Obviously it will provide the same value in all the scenarios. So what businesses must do is to lower up the cost in packing, but not so down that the customer is like viewing the packing and it's very of the it's look like very cheap quality. Obviously, then again customer will not take the product from you. So you can cut the cost. There is an option that you can cut the cost from the packing, because it's not obviously lowering up the value of the main product. Okay. Second point, how you can cut the cost? You can use the cheaper material. Cheaper material here doesn't mean that low quality. That doesn't mean low, because low, if you are taking the low quality, obviously you can cut the cost. But target costing says don't compromise the quality. So don't take the low quality material. Cheaper material means that find the suppliers in the market that you think that they can give you cheaper material, they can give you good discounts, they can obviously maybe with good terms and conditions on the bulk discounts, or like something like that, you feel like you can get cheaper material from any other supplier, which obviously are giving you the material on the lower price. You can go for that, focus on that, obviously do the working on that for the job cheaper material. If you're getting that, obviously cost can be cut. Using lower skilled labor, if you think that lower skilled labor like semi skilled labor can help you to make the same product as you are using now skilled labor, you can shift to semi skilled. Obviously giving them lower rate will cut your cost without affecting the quality. Motivation is very important point. Motivation and training is very important point for employees. Always motivate employees. So you can give them trainings, you can give them classes for that how they can control the cost. Don't You can motivate them to not waste the material. Obviously wastages of material is also the cost of the product. So focus on that motivation of the employees. After that, increase units and achieve economies of scale. See, if you are increasing the units, obviously your fixed cost per unit will get lower. You are making, you are in the factory where you are giving 10,000 rent and you are making 100 units, means 10,000 divided by 100, the fixed cost per unit will be 100 per unit. But the same rent will be same, but you are making now 200 units. So obviously now it will be 50 per unit. Your rent per unit get decreases with an increase in units. So if you are increasing the units to a certain level, maybe through the advertisement you are increasing your customer, you will try to increase the customer. Obviously increase customer will means increase sales units. So increase sales units means increase production units, and it will lower down your fixed cost, and it will result in like decreasing your normal cost towards the target cost. After that, part assembled components purchased from market. For example, just for the example, I'm giving this calculator example. I know that complete calculator I'm making, but the screen I'm using, it's costing me like $2 for this screen. Okay. Now I find the supplier who can make me and sell me this screen for $1. But I am making myself for $2, but the supplier is giving me for $1. So what I can do, I can buy this part from the supplier because it's getting me in I can get in $1 rather than making it for 2 unit, $2. So you can take the part assemble components like half components made from the supplier and half you can do the production according to the costing techniques that calculate the cost and like you can calculate proper difference between if you are taking from supplier or you are making yourself. So where the cost is being like less, go for that option. Obviously this will not obviously affect your quality of the product. So you have to you have to do the cost cutting, but never compromise on quality of product. If you're compromising the quality, then target costing concept is of no need, right? These are some examples. There are more examples as well. We'll see the in the questions like that, but this is the main examples that I have written here. Okay. So this line is very important. It is must to understand that which features of product are essential to customer perceived quality and which are not. It's very important that when you are making the product, do a proper analysis that whether this feature is important for the customer or not. If it's not important, it's not effective for the customer, leave that. Why you are incurring the cost on something like that's not adding the value in customer's life? So obviously ignore that. Just focus on the points, just focus on that part that is adding the value of adding the value in the customer life. Customer use value basically is increasing. You what is use value, we'll study that, but it's providing the benefit to the customer. If it's not providing the benefit, like packing, I've told you that packing, the huge packing, expensive packing, it's not adding the value to customer life. They want the product that is inside, right? So this basically analysis is known as value analysis. I've written here. This is called as value analysis. So every company, basically, when they are focusing on the target costing, they do value analysis so that the points they think that that's not adding the value to the customer, leave them. They leave them. Why? Because obviously they focus on the main things that are providing the value. This value analysis, we'll study more about value analysis here. I'll study that, but I'll tell you about that. But before that, we have to do one question. One question. First, you try this question. I'm just reading that. First, you try this question, then I will do that. Okay. So let me read the question. It's written that company C, company C is currently considering expansion into manufacturing two new products. So there are two new products company C is going to expand: the printers and the digital cameras. The printer and the digital cameras. I'm writing it here. I am writing it on the side. The company is going towards two new products: digital cameras and printers, right? Okay. Company C normally uses pricing policy of 10% markup on standard prime cost. Basically, what they are doing, normally what they are doing, they are adding the on the prime cost, they are adding basically 10%. Markup means that they are taking the 10% of cost. So on the cost, they're adding 10% for reaching the selling price. Of the 10% profit will reach to selling price. However, as both the printing and cameras market are highly competitive, the finance director is considering using the target costing. So finance director is saying that the market is competitive, use target costing. Okay, but want to retain the same markup, but they want that the markup should be same. It must be 10%, not less than that. Okay, now there is a story of printer. The maximum price the market will support is $200 per unit of new printer. Actually, what they are saying that market in the market, actually what they are saying for the market, the printer selling price the customer will pay will be max $200, not more than that. Means it's a market rate of printer. 60% of direct cost, 60% of direct cost of each printer is expected to be polymer. Actually, printer has one material known as polymer. And for the polymer, they are saying that it's 60% of direct cost. 60% of direct cost of the printer. 60% of the cost of making printer is the polymer cost. For example, 200 is the selling price of the market, but 60%, but for example, the cost is 180 or 170. Out of that complete cost, just I'm giving the example, out of that complete cost, 60% is of polymer, right? Okay. Now, digital cameras. Let us separate them so that we are not get confused. Okay, digital cameras. 40% of direct cost of each digital camera is expected to be software. Okay, so what they are saying that for the digital camera, 40% of cost is the software used in that digital camera. The minimum price company C can source the software necessary to make one digital camera is 76. What they are saying that the minimum price the company C can source the software means if company wants to buy the software, if company want to buy the software, not digital camera, so they can take it for 76. They can take it for 76, which has been built into the budget. On the basis, company C has determined that the cost gap between budgeted cost and target cost. Basically, they have told you for the digital camera, they have told you that there is a cost gap. There's a cost gap of 23.70. Here he has told you cost gap. Okay, then what he is asking, target cost of polymer used in the manufacture of printer. Basically, in the for the printer case, they are not asking for the printer's target cost, but they're asking for the target cost of this polymer. They're asking target cost of polymer, not printer. First requirement is this. Second, assuming the target costing principle are adopted, what is the maximum selling price the company C can charge per digital camera? And second requirement is about the digital camera, not software. So for one product, he is asking for the raw material polymer, the target cost, and for the other, he's asking for the main product, digital camera, and maximum selling price the company can set. Maximum selling price the company can set for digital camera. This is the question. I have told you the complete case. Just take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and calculate it. Then I will calculate. Then I will calculate. Every student must calculate, must do the practice. If I am doing any practice in the class, giving you question, no one will ignore. Take 2 minutes. Okay, okay. So students, have you done the question? Let me now calculate. Let me now calculate. If you are doing that till now, just pause the video. Just pause the video. Do that question complete. I am telling you, if you will do that question with me one by one, all the questions, you will be perfect in doing the practice, inshallah. Okay, so I'm doing the question now. First requirement was for the polymer. First requirement was for the polymer. And polymer, if we see, it's 60% of the printer cost, right? If we see the printer, if we see the printer selling price, it's dollar 200. It's dollar 200. And if you see that it's the printed selling price, it's after the 10% markup, after the 10% markup, because it's selling price, obviously the printer must be having the cost, the printer must be having the cost, and after that, obviously, selling price minus cost is profit. So let us calculate first the cost. Why I am calculating the cost from this selling price? Because this selling price is market selling price, not the selling price from our side. Because it's written market will support the selling price. If it's market selling price, and if we use 10% markup here, write the 10% markup here, we'll get the total target cost. And if we get the total target cost, then we know that polymer is 60% of that target cost. So if we calculate here the target cost, it will be of the printer. The target cost that will come here will be for the printer. But the polymer is 60% of that. Obviously, he's asking target cost for the polymer. So obviously for the target cost of the polymer, for the target cost of the polymer, if you see the target cost of the polymer is 60% of total target cost of printer. So let us calculate first for the printer. First for the printer. Okay, okay. Okay, so let us calculate the total cost was how. See, it's 10% markup. Markup means that cost is the base, because markup means that the cost is used as a base to calculate profit. So, but the base is, it is 100%. The base is obviously 100%. So cost is 100%, profit is 10%. So 100 plus 10, selling price will be 110%. Selling price will be 110%. So how you will come from this 200 to total cost? If you are having two percentages, if you are having two percentages and you want to convert the value according to percentage using the percentage, what's the formula is, what you will write, this 200, take this 200 divided by its own percentage. What's its own percentage? 110. Don't no need to write percentage sign here. Just divide by 110. Multiply to where you have to go. To where you have to go. Okay, so what 200 divided by 110 into 100. Into 100, if I'll do that, I will get the value of this target cost. So 200 divided by 110 into 100 is 181.82. 181.82. So from this 200, that was 110%. How it was 110%? Because 10% markup means that cost was 100% and selling price was 110%. So 200 divided by its own percentage, 110 multiplied to where we have to go. We have to go to the cost, so multiply that percentage 100. So we have calculated the value 181.82. This is the target cost of printer or polymer. Obviously printer. Obviously printer. So printer, if I write here, printer target cost is 181.82, and we know that the polymer used in this printer cost 60% of that the total cost of printer. So we'll take 181.82 multiply 60%. It's 109, almost $109, almost $109 is the answer. It's the target cost of polymer. 109, almost 109 is the answer. It's the target cost of polymer. $109 is the target cost of polymer. The working I have done is only for printer and polymer. A requirement has been done here, and polymer was the raw material for printer. Understood? Okay, let me take this question on side, and now we'll discuss the second concept. Yeah, polymer I'm writing here. Now, the second scenario. For the second scenario, if you see, he is asking you that what is the maximum selling price the company C can charge. Okay, so it's the digital camera calculation in which he is asking you that maximum selling price. That's obviously maximum selling price the market will accept. The market will accept. Okay, so in the digital camera you have software. In the digital camera, if you see, you have a software that costs you $70, that costs you $76, that costs you $76. If I am taking the software from, obviously outsourcing the software, taking from the market now for to use in a digital camera, it will cost me 76. And this 76 the software cost is obviously 40% of that cost. 40% of that cost, it's written here. 40% of that cost. Now this 40% of that cost is 76. From there, we can calculate the total cost of camera. How? Because it's the 40%. If we take its 100%, it will be the digital camera cost. How? How? Simple. 76 divided by 40. 40, because its own percentage was 40, as I have told you in the printer. That divide the value on the percentage, its relevant percentage, multiply from to where you have to go. You have to go to the total cost, and total cost here is 100%. 100%. So 76 divided by 40. 76 divided by 40 into 100. It's 190. It's 190. Let me see again. 76 divided by 40. Yes, 190. Now, 190 is the total cost of digital camera. 190 is the total cost of digital camera. I'm writing here 190. But the main issue is actually this is not the target cost. This is not the target cost. This is the normal cost. How I'm saying that why I'm saying that, because this 76 is general cost I am basically incurring for the software and paying the supplier to take the software. It's my own cost, not the target cost. It's the normal cost. It's the normal cost that I can source the software from the market. So it's the normal cost. So from this normal cost, first we have to go to target cost. Why? Because he is saying that assuming the costing principle are adopted, what will be the maximum selling price company C can charge per digital camera. So if I am using this 190 as target cost and adding the profit in it, so I'm not ignoring the cost gap. So first we have to deduct the cost gap from it, so that we get the target cost of camera. And cost gap was 23.70. 23.70. So 190 minus 23.70, it's 166.3. 166.3. It's the total it's the target cost of camera, because 190 was our normal cost. 76 was normal cost of software, divided by 40 into 100. 190 was normal cost, but we will not apply 10% markup to calculate selling price on 190. 190 was our cost, not the target cost. So for that, he has given you cost gap. So I have just deducted that cost gap, because cost gap we have to deduct from the normal cost to reach the target cost. So target cost is 166. Okay. If he's asking you target cost, this is the answer. But he's not asking for the target cost. He's asking for the maximum selling price company can charge. So just what you can do, this is a target cost. Just take the 10, basically add the profit in it to get the proper selling price market will accept. So you know that markup, 10% markup is there. So 10% markup means base is cost, because markup means you have to apply the percentage on cost. So base is cost plus profit. How much percent? How many percent? 10% profit. So it is 16.63 profit, and just add it and get the selling price 166.3 plus 16.63. 182.93. 182.93 is the selling price that market will accept. If, for example, he's using 190 as normal cost, adding 10% in it means the selling price will go to 209, and he's going to market to sell it for 209. It will not be sold because in market proper selling price is 182.93. So from to calculate proper selling price on which customer can take the product easily, it will only be calculated if we are having the target cost. So that's why we have deducted cost gap from the total normal cost to calculate target cost. After that target cost, we have added the profit in it and calculate the proper selling price. 182.93 is the answer for it. 182.93 is the answer for the maximum selling price of digital cameras. Okay, so now the question has been done. Here we have just understand the basics of target costing and just a general question related to that to open your mind. Obviously, target costing will not be tested in very technical form. This question was quite technical, but I have obviously discussed that so that your mind is open and you are like focusing on the topic properly and understanding the concept properly. So now we are like, as we have discussed before this question, here I've told you value analysis. So for the values, basically there are four types. We are going to discuss these four types of values one by one. So first is cost value. What is cost value? Cost value is simple. I'm giving you example. Again, this calculator. I am making this calculator and it cost me $10 per calculator, including its production cost, all the cost I'm including in it. It cost me $10, right? So the cost incurred by the organization making a product is the cost value. So I'll say that for this calculator, cost value is $10. This calculator, the cost value is $10. Okay. Now, what is exchange value? Cost value is simple, the cost of the product. Exchange value. Exchange value is the amount the customer are willing to pay to you to take the calculator. For example, this calculator is $10 that cost me, but I am going to market and I am selling it for $18, and customer are willing to pay. Customer are okay with the price. Okay, giving me $18 for the calculator. So the amount consumers are willing to pay is exchange value. Basically, the selling, I can say the selling price, the appropriate selling price. Now, if I'm selling it for $100, obviously customers will say it's very expensive. It's very expensive. In that case, it's not the exchange value. Exchange value is that price that customers are easily willing to pay. The amount consumers are willing to exchange to obtain the ownership of the product. Basically, the price of the product the customer are willing to pay is the exchange value of the product. So there are two values: cost value, the cost of the product; exchange value, selling price of the product. After that, third is use value. Use value is related to function. Like for example, this calculator cost was 10. I bought it for 18. I am having this calculator for 18. But what this calculator do in my life, how it helped my life, it helped me in doing big calculations very fast. Obviously, so it added a lot, a very good, very great value in my life. Maybe I have saved my time a lot, and that saved time on the same time I have done some other work that grows my business. I'm doing for example, I am calculating by my mind, I'm calculating the calculations in an hour. But by calculator, it's taking like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Remaining 40 minutes, I'm focusing on other things, marketing, admin, research, development. So what it will do, it will grow my business, right? So actually, using this calculator, I got the value, which value that I have saved my time, and using that saved time, I have invested that time in other productive works, and that other productive works obviously give me the profits, give me the sales, give me the growth in the business. So actually use value is that related to the function. So this is related to function. So for example, ability of the product to perform its specific intended purpose. So sometimes, for example, if I have paid $18 for it, but now I know that if due to calculator I am working, investing my time on the productive things, I can earn more than 18% using that. I have paid $18 today as a cost, as my cost. I have paid it and bought it. But using this calculator is adding hundreds of dollars in my business because I'm working on the research and development in the same time. That's the use value. So always in your real life, always see the use value of the any product you are buying. If its use value is more and its exchange value is less, then purchase that product. If you are taking $100 product and just you are not taking any benefit from it, you are not having any use value from it, then you are on the loss. You are on a loss. So always pay. For example, if anything is expensive, pay for it, but first see that paying for that expensive things, will you get benefit from benefit more than that exchange value? If yes, take that product, no issue, because you are getting the value from that. So that's the use value. And at last, there is a esteem value. Esteem value basically is related to something status or regard. Like for example, there are basic level cars as well, but some big cars are there like GMCs, like Lamborghini, that Bugatti, and like that types of cars. So obviously you are paying a lot for that. Why? Are they using more metal on that? No. Are they using something very costly on that? Yes, they are, but they are investing very costly machines and all that body on that. But it's not that much cost they are charging to you. Why then? Why you are paying a lot of money for that? Because you know it's the indication of status. It's the indication of like prestigious it has a prestigious effect. So for that prestigious effect, for the status, you are paying more. This value is known as esteem value. Like this relate to status or regard associated with the ownership. Product with the esteem value will have premium price. Like we say, sometimes we are wearing the clothes and we say it's the brand shirt, I have taken the branded shirt. What it means, that I have paid more. Why? Due to the esteem value. People will see and will say, wow, very good shirt. So that's the esteem value for some product. It's not for every product. Obviously, for some products, there is esteem value. So these type of four types of values, obviously, we have to understand the concept. Cost value, simple cost. Exchange value, selling price. Use value, the functions, what the functions are providing you in your life. Esteem value, the value of the status or regard. Basically, status, the prestigious things obviously will have a higher premium price, but it's providing you a good status, high status, right? Okay, so we were on the obviously target costing concept, and all the topics are mixed in the Kaplan book from where I've taken this all the topics. Okay, so here it's written the Swiss watchmaker Swatch reportedly used target costing in order to produce relatively low cost similar looking plastic watches in the country with the one of the world's highest hourly labor wage rates. Suggests the ways in which Swatch may have reduced their unit cost for each watch. Actually, there's a company who are going to make the watches, and now they are planning to they are finding the ways so that they can reduce their cost per unit. So I have written some points here that how they can reduce the cost, how they can reduce the cost. Some first process, first example, simplification of production process allowing cheap labor. You can simplify your production process. You are not like having a complex machines and all that, because more complex machines you need the expensive labor. Just simplify the production process, use cheaper labor will come, obviously you will pay less, your unit cost will get reduced. So the more simple your production process is, the more lower grade labor you can use, because they can handle it easily, right? Using plastic instead of metal where possible. If you see like something instead of plastic, instead of metal, you can use the plastic, the lower cost material, you can use it, but don't focus on quality. If it's like downgrading the quality, then no need, then use metal. But if it's possible, that's why I've written where possible. If it's possible, use that. Use less packaging. Again, packing point, don't do like box and box in the box, don't do that. Use less packaging. Sharing components between models will lead to achieve economies of scale, like will reduce your cost. How? Sharing components mean, for example, I have three models of watches. These are three watches. I have three different models of watches. Obviously, there is a machinery inside the watch on the back side, right? The one component called, for example, XYZ. using in it as well, in it as well, and in it as well. But all material using XYZ component are shaped different. Their shapes are different. So obviously you have to make X, Y, Z that component, this component for this watch separately. For this watch you have to make the component separately, and for this watch you have to make that component separately. So if you are making them separately, your production cost will be higher. If you are making that component on the back side that the customer is not opening and seeing, that no issue in that, and that's not the on the front, it's on the back side machinery part. If that machinery part is same in all the watches, all the models, how it will help you? See, you will arrange the setup one time, make a lot of components for every model, put obviously put it use it in all the watches. It will reduce your cost. But if you are making them separately, you have to arrange the setup again and again, again and again, inspection again and again. The fixed cost will incur, so that will increase the cost. So sharing components between models, that will like lead to your decrease in the like unit cost. Obviously, to achieve economies of scale mean basically your fixed cost per unit will reduce. Okay, introduce JIT system. JIT means just in time. What just in time means, we'll discuss this just in time in detail in the next portion. Next portion means next chapter. But here I am telling you just the definition. Actually, just in time is means that purchase the material when needed. If you want to do the production, at that point purchase the material, do production and sell it. Don't hold the inventory, don't hold the material. Means just in time says that holding should be minimum, maybe zero. Holding should be minimum, because less holding cost means your cost per unit will get lower. If you are like holding the material, obviously you want the stores, you will give the store rent, storekeeper, store manager, documentation, admin cost, all that, electricity and all that. But if your holding is on the minimum level, obviously just purchase the material when it's needed, use in the production and sell that product. But don't hold that. That JIT is that JIT explains. So introduce JIT system where possible. If it's possible for you to introduce it, lowering your holding cost will obviously lower your cost per unit for the watch. And after that, use overseas labor where it's possible. Where it's because in the case he's saying that it's the world's highest hourly labor wage rates, basically the country where labor wage rate is very much higher. So where overseas labor is possible, use that. Obviously, people go visit to the countries where they can earn more. But for that country, they are paying in dollars, just $200, $300, or $1,000 per month. So for the person who is working, it's a lot for him, but for the country, it's a lower cost. So using overseas labor can reduce the labor cost, and at last, obviously, it will help you to reduce your cost and will reduce your cost gap, and you can easily sell on the market selling price. So you have to reduce the cost. The major concept of target costing from A to Z, what I will say in one line: reduce the cost, but don't compromise quality. Is that clear? Okay, so now we are going to study the next topic, that is target costing in service industry. Obviously, service industry doesn't have the products. Still, target costing can be used here. For example, I'm providing you lectures. Obviously, this is a service industry. I'm providing you service. So what I do, I can do this, that my lectures market selling prices. For example, I'm saying it's $100, and I know that I want to earn the profit, or like 30% profit I want to earn. $30, maybe basically $30 profit. So my target cost will be $70. That I will manage to incur the cost within $70 to reach this selling price, so that my profit doesn't get hit and I can easily earn that. So in the service industries, normally when the lectures or any other service industry, schools, hospitals, this target costing can be used. But there are some problems related to target costing. You can say the features of service industry, the features of service industry. So we'll study it one by one. The first feature is intangibility. Obviously, in service industry, there are no products. there are no products. No products. So there's intangibility. Intangibility means that no physical existence. No physical existence. This is basically intangibility, no physical existence. Okay. After that, service industry, the second feature is inseparability. Inseparability means that at the time you are providing the services, at the time you are providing the services, the same time client have to take the services. Client has to take the services. Like I can't say that I'm providing you services at this time and you can take after, like for example, sometime. Like for example, I go to hairdresser and I say him that cut my hairs and I am coming. That's not possible. I have to be there when the service is being provided. The client has to be at the same point at that point. In that case, service can be taken. It means inseparability. After that, heterogeneity. Heterogeneity means not the same. Not the same. Service can't be the same. Like I'm teaching you ACC F5 today. Maybe in the next batch, I'm changing some examples. ACC F5 is same. The batch, previous batch was also same. This batch also same. The next batch will also be same. That it's ACC F5. But the way of teaching, maybe it is different. It is different from the other batches. Somehow the examples are different. So services can't be homogeneous like the product. If I'm making the calculator, if I'm making this type of calculator, I can make hundreds of these calculators, same homogeneous units. But in service there may be little bit difference in the like quality of the services, the providing of the services. It means it is heterogeneous. After that, perishability means it's simple, it can't be stored. It can't be stored. Like products, we can say there is a closing inventory for it because product can be stored in the store, obviously in the warehouse, but services can't be stored. It's a feature of the service industry. And after that last point, no transfer of ownership. You can't transfer the ownership of service. Like for example, I am having the business of anything, any product, I can transfer to my son. But if I am a teacher, this is a service. Can I transfer this teacher service to my son? No. So services, in the services, you can't transfer the ownership of service to any other party. So these five problems of service costing, or maybe you can say features of service costing, that we have to discuss. Actually, it's mentioned in your Kaplan book. So I have discussed these. And the main point is that target costing can be used in this service industry, as I have told you before these features. So it was all about target costing. Target costing is ended here. If you want to ask any question, you have any query, you want any practice or anything you want, you can contact me on WhatsApp, and meet you in the guys in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye.